CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. So the Los Angeles Clippers have been involved in recent NBA drama. Paul George potentially looking to sign with another team this offseason. James Harden, there's been radio silence. I don't think we've heard a whole lot of reports coming from his camp as far as where he would like to sign. Does he want to return to the Los Angeles Clippers? Did he like the one season he had here? Or because they underperformed and didn't even make it out of the first round versus Dallas Mavericks, does Harden want to sign elsewhere? Kawhi did get his 3-year extension. He is on the Clippers for another 3 years, unless, of course, he gets traded. You got Zubac, who is, in his prime. He's 27 years old. He's going to become a double-double machine at this point. He's already nearly averaging a double-double the past couple seasons, as you can see. 11 points and 9 rebounds, 10.8 points, 9.9 rebounds. Yeah, pretty close, right? From an outsider's perspective looking in, I think it is time that the Clippers blow it up. I think let Paul George go, let Harden go, and look to trade Kawhi, because at this point, I don't think this team has much of a future with this trio. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. As a Mavs fan, after watching that first round series, yes, they had some good flashes of incredible play. I mean, they had a couple games where George and Harden just completely went off, and then other games where they just could not score the basketball at all. I mean, 7 points in a playoff game from a supposed superstar player it's borderline. I mean, it's unacceptable. It's not even borderline unacceptable. It's unacceptable if you're supposed to be a big name player. 7 points, 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 6. And then again, James Harden, he also had a 7-point game in that series against Dallas. 2 of 12 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. Had another game where he's 0 of 6 from 3. Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good look. So I think it's time to move on from these guys, They're both 34 years old. They're looking for one last big contract. And I don't think these two guys, in addition to a 33-year-old Kawhi Leonard, is really the key to a championship, especially with how loaded the West is. I think it's time to regroup and rearm. Don't be giving the Thunder some free lottery draft picks. Yes, the Thunder do have some future Clipper draft picks, and we don't want them to get the most value from them. We want to be able to provide value to ourselves and have a winning basketball team. So although there are a few teams Paul George could just straight up sign with for the maximum contract that he is allowed to sign, there are other teams that he is reportedly interested in, like the Warriors and the Knicks, where it would have to be more of a sign and trade situation. So the plan going into this offseason for the Clippers, we are going to sign and trade both Paul George and James Harden to get the most return. Also worth noting, again, the Clippers have traded away nearly every single draft pick that they can. We have no first-round draft picks in this 2024 draft. We do have a second-round pick, but we're not going to be signing that guy on. So as I said, we're not going to be signing this guy. Skip past that. Team and player options. Paul George and Westbrook have declined their player options. PJ Tucker has accepted his because, I mean, he's 39 years old, and I don't think anyone else is going to be paying him $11 million per year. We'll extend the qualifying offers to these 3 players. I'm kind of surprised. I forgot Kai Jones signed with the Clippers. I totally thought he was still a free agent, but nonetheless, here we are, moratorium period, and right off the bat, we're going to be offering Paul George the most amount of money that we can, as well as James Harden. Okay, so there you go. We've offered both players a contract of 4 years worth $216 million, which is actually more than the Clippers are reportedly willing to sign Paul George in real life. Definitely more than Harden is going to be signed for. So we'll be looking to trade them, but first, one last player that I almost forgot about is none other than Russell Westbrook, who, yes, he still doesn't have any offers. He is someone that I think could be a trade piece. I think some teams would still find some value in him. Unfortunately, we just don't have the money to sign him, for what he's looking for, so I guess he's just going to be a free agent at this point. We've lost him. Plugging Paul George into the trade finder, and we're already getting some very, I would argue, very unrealistic trades here. I don't see the Sixers offering Maxey up for Paul George. I mean, I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. I just do not see that happening at all. We also have what I would argue is an even more attractive package in De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk for Paul George and PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker, he's just taken up a huge chunk of the cap space on this team. He's not, He's 39 years old. He's probably going to retire after this season. So really, we would just be keeping him on if we're trying to go for a championship one more year. But yeah, Malik Monk, he's outstanding. Absolutely incredible player for the Sacramento Kings, averaging 15 points per game on only 26 minutes. So yeah, he's someone that we would love to add to this team, in addition to De'Aaron Fox. But before we commit to that, I also wanted to check these James Harden trade offers out, and as you can see, there is also a trade to get De'Aaron Fox as well. And outside of that, I'm not seeing the best trade offers involving James Harden. Now, if we were to try to pair James Harden and Kawhi, it looks like there's not really any packages available. So it might make more sense to do the De'Aaron Fox trade with James Harden, and then we'd go ahead and use Paul George to acquire a different talent. But since I'm greedy, I'm going to go ahead and switch out Kevin Huerter with Malik Monk and see if the Sacramento Kings are willing to take that. It looks like they still want to give off Kevin Huerter to the Los Angeles Clippers. They're asking for Norman Powell, who obviously he's been a great scorer and a great help for the Clippers team, so it would be sad to see him go. But again, we'd be getting Malik Monk in return, and I don't know, I just really like Malik Monk. We'd also be giving off PJ Tucker, so that would kind of help with the salary situation. And honestly, I'm here for it. Let's go clean slate here. Let's trade away a bunch of players. I'm thinking new arena, new city, new team. Let's go for it. Clippers basketball. We're completely revamping this team. Look at this offer right here. This is incredible. Paul George and Zubac to the Memphis Grizzlies. Now I know Paul George hasn't really been rumored as being interested in going to the Memphis Grizzlies. Harden, we have no idea what's going on. A sign and trade is very possible to whichever team. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk of Paul George going to the Knicks, so getting OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson would be pretty nice. Although this trade is not quite as good, for the sake of realism, I feel like we have to do it. Paul George for OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson, and I want to see if I can add a draft pick to this, because to be honest, we deserve a draft pick out of this as well. They don't want to budge. Perhaps their own first-round pick would be better. They still don't want to budge on that. Okay. Maybe a later first-round pick. Man, they're just not budging at all. I say take away that second-round pick that they're trying to get from us. Now they say they don't want to do a trade at all. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the original trade. There you have it. And now this is what the roster is looking like. We got Kawhi Leonard, we got De'Aaron Fox, we got Zubac, we got OG Anunoby, we got Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench at center, we got Malik Monk, still got Terrence Mann, we got Kevin Huerter, still got Bones Highland, still got Kobe Brown, and then there's a few other free agents, with qualifying offers extended. We'll wait and see what happens with them. Last but not least, like I said, I'm looking for a clean slate on this team, so we're gonna see what kind of offers pop up for Kawhi Leonard. And oh man, Tyrese Maxey, that would be a good get. Oh, we could still get Jaren Jackson Jr., but of course we already have two centers on this team. There's some other pretty solid deals out here. We could get more New York Knicks players, send both Kawhi and Paul George to the Knicks. DeMar DeRozan signed with the Orlando Magic, although I don't know, that wouldn't work. That doesn't make sense. That's not how sign and trades work. Oh, interesting. The Denver Nuggets giving up part of their core to pair Jokic with Kawhi Leonard. I just think the concept of this trade really intrigues me, and I say why not? Let's go for it. This team has a lot of depth now, so we're going to have De'Aaron Fox at the 1. We're going to have Malik Monk at the 2. We got Michael Porter Jr., OG Anunoby. Honestly, OG could probably fill in at the 2. We got Aaron Gordon at the 4, and then we got Zubac and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. This team's already pretty deep, and then what is our current cap situation? We don't have any cap space at all. That's fine. I'm not bringing Mason Plumlee and his goofy jump shot back to the Los Angeles Clippers. It's not happening. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if anyone on here is a diehard Clippers fan that really wants Plumlee back on this team. We're going to bring back DeAndre Jordan on a 1-year minimum deal because why not? Former Los Angeles Clipper. I think that's a pretty cool story. And also, I know Blake Griffin just retired, but is he available to bring on for a 1-year minimum deal? I don't see him anywhere. Before we proceed to next season, it does appear like I think we have 17 players on the roster. We need to get it down to 15. So some of these guys are not tradable because we just signed them back on, but there are a few guys that we are actually able to trade without any restrictions. So we're looking at some of the available players right now, and there's actually some decent players available for a combo of Bones Hyland and Kobe Brown. Adding Terrence Mann to that mix, I know he's a fan favorite, but look, we're getting an offer for, it's an aging Clint Capella. I don't think it's the best deal. But look, we're just trying to see what's out there because, again, we need to narrow this roster down. Look at this. Bones Hyland and Terrence Mann. You get 82 overall Bobby Portis. No way. No way this trade popped up in the trade finder. I'm not even kidding. This actually showed up. Hold up. I got to prove it. I got to prove it, all right? We'll put Terrence Mann, Bones Hyland in here, and go over to the New York Knicks. They're offering the Pistons first-round pick and Bojan Bogdanovic. Now, I'm not super excited about Bogdanovic, but he is an expiring contract. I'm more excited about that Detroit Pistons first-round pick. That's looking pretty juicy. That could easily be a top 5 pick next season. Outside of that, for more of a win-now move, trading Terrence Mann, Bones Hyland, and Kobe Brown for Jaden McDaniels, getting our roster from the 17-man, number down to 15. To be able to start next season. This is actually looking pretty ideal. Jaden McDaniels is a great defender. He can also shoot the ball, as we saw against the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. To me, this is like a no-brainer. I think we go for it, and we made the deal. So the starting lineup for this team is going to be Fox at the 1, Malik Monk at the 2, Michael Porter Jr. at the 3, Aaron Gordon at the 4, Zubac at the 5. Off the bench, man, this bench is strong. We got OG Anunoby, Jaden McDaniels, Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Huerter, and DeAndre Jordan's not really great. Do we have a backup point guard? I don't feel like we really do. Obviously, Monk can fill in at that position, not a problem. I suppose Kevin Huerter, could he handle the ball? I'm not too familiar with Kevin Huerter's game, I gotta be honest. I know he can shoot the ball and that's about it. And before I forget, contract extension, Zubac, he's eligible. We absolutely need to sign him to an extension. We'll do 3 more years with him, and he seems to like that deal, so he goes ahead and accepts. So we have him locked in for another 4 years, and he's going to be a great player, a double-double machine, so I'm looking forward to that. At the trade deadline, the Los Angeles Clippers are currently the 1 seed in the West with the #1 record in the NBA, followed by the New Orleans Pelicans and the Oklahoma City Thunder in this Western Conference. I'm kind of surprised the Pelicans are up there, and looking at some of the trades and team, what's this team made of? What do they have? It looks like most of their team is pretty much the same, other than some additional young players added to the roster. Just looking with the teammate chemistry boosts on this team, the overalls, it's just unbelievable. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players above an 80 overall. I would have to say that trading away Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden was a great move for this franchise so far. We'll see how it pays off in the playoffs, but so far so good. Before we continue with the simulation, there's a few more players that are now eligible for contract extensions. This is not the last year of their contract, but since things are looking so good right now, I think we just have to go ahead and extend them. I mean, no questions asked. I think we just have to do it. Kevin Huerter, he's only looking for $7 million a year now. I think that's great. He's only 26 years old, so perfect. Nikola Jokic paired with Kawhi Leonard, he still wins another MVP award. Stephon Cassell winning Rookie of the Year with the Charlotte Hornets. Amen Thompson, 6th Man of the Year. Wemby, Defensive Player of the Year. Asar Thompson, the twin brother, winning Most Improved. Shea is the Clutch Player of the Year. The Cavs get 60 wins and are first in the Eastern Conference, getting the Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year recognitions. Of course, JB Bickerstaff in real life no longer with the Cavs. And as far as the Los Angeles Clippers go, it doesn't look like we've gotten any All-NBA awards, nor do we have any All-Defensive awards, nor do we have any All-Rookie awards. However, as you can see, we did end up finishing first in the Western Conference with 60 wins ourselves, 60-22 record, and just behind with 53 wins is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who did they end up signing? Did they make any big signings? They got Kelly Oubre Jr., and then it looks like they pretty much brought back a lot of their supporting cast from the previous season. Not too much of a difference as far as the roster goes. That's a little bit disappointing given that the cap space that they have. going into the 2024 offseason. Looking at the stats, we only have one player that's averaging more than 20 points per game, and that would be De'Aaron Fox with 25 per game. Unbelievable. Malik Monk, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Well, Xavier Moon's up there. He only played 2 games, I'm assuming due to an injury from another player, but he's looking pretty stellar for a 68 overall, getting 12 points per game for those 2 games that he started. OG Anunoby also getting 12 points per game off the bench. Zubac, not quite the double-double machine we were hoping, but that's also because players like Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, you know, they're also getting those rebounds. Mitchell Robinson only getting 6 points and 6 boards per game. I don't think he's very happy with his role as a backup player, but, you know, and he's still producing off the bench. He's getting a steal and a block per game. So hopefully we can keep him on, but we might be looking to trade him in next season. The round 1 matchup is going to be the Golden State Warriors, who still have Chris Paul and Curry paired together. And it looks like they ended up losing Klay Thompson. Did they trade him? Did they let him sign elsewhere? We're not really sure, but they did get Josh Green from the Dallas Mavericks, and that seems to be the only notable addition to this team. And the Warriors steal Game 1 on the road in Los Angeles, but the Clippers bounce right back, winning the next 2 games, going into Game 4, winning that one as well, and taking care of business going on to the next round. Being paired up against the Memphis Grizzlies, who still have their supporting cast for the most part. They did add Derrick Jones Jr. from the Dallas Mavericks. We're seeing a lot of former Mavericks players being added in here. Other than that, they still got Derrick Rose, who I do not recall him getting the haircut, but his picture here, he's got the buzz cut again from 2011. Memphis is able to get 1 game on the road in Game 2. Clippers winning the next 2 in Memphis, and then they're going to end up winning in 5 as well. Going up against the Dallas Mavericks in the conference finals, they still have Luka and Kyrie. They got Gordon Hayward from the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think as a Mavs fan, if they were to acquire Gordon Hayward as a rotation piece, I would not be thrilled given how he played against the Mavs in this year's 2024 playoffs. They also got Klay Thompson and Bol Bol. Oh my goodness, this is a very interesting roster, at least in the 2K realm. You know, getting Bol Bol, obviously he's a bit cheesy with that tall, you know, he's 7'3" and he can shoot threes. Klay Thompson, did he make a rebound this year in his career? Let's see, he got traded mid-season and his percentages are looking pretty stellar. 42% from 3, 93% from the free throw line. In the playoffs, not so much, but you know, he's still contributing in other ways. And so far for our team, no notable, you know, significant injuries. OG is playing through a bruised right knee, but other than that, looking pretty good. So Dallas is going to win Game 1 on the road. Clippers get the next game at home. It seems like a lot of these series have been starting that way, and the Clippers gonna go up 3-1, now up 3-2. This could go to a Game 7. Oh boy. It's a close one here in the first half, but the Clippers are starting to pull away with a double-digit lead in the 4th quarter, up by about 20 right now. Getting down to the last couple minutes, up by about 15. Luka's still going to win the Western Conference Finals MVP despite the loss, and over in the East, it's Donovan Mitchell winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP in this Game 7. De'Aaron Fox with 43 points, Malik Monk with 22, Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon with double-digit scoring as well. Where in the world were our other players? OG, he played for 20 minutes, he only scored 3 points, he only got 3 shots, so, you know, he's out there for the defense and the playmaking, I suppose. And this Cavs team, what kind of changes did they make? Of course, in 2K here in our simulation, they still have JV Bickerstaff, but in real life, they brought on Kenny Atkinson, the assistant coach from the Warriors. It looks like they added Caleb Martin, another former Miami Heat player, to this Cavs roster, in addition to Max Strus, who they acquired last year. And outside of that, I'm not seeing any other notable additions to this team, so I guess just keeping the core together and learning from their past mistakes. Able to get to the NBA Finals, going against this Clippers team. Both of these teams are the top teams in the league, each with 60 wins. And to start off the series, the Clippers are going up 2-1, now up 3-1. And there you go. We won a championship in 5 games. De'Aaron Fox, the finals MVP with 27 points per game, 3 steals per game. Man, that is awesome. We're going to let DeAndre Jordan retire with his first and only NBA, or no, sorry, it's not his first NBA championship. He was on the Nuggets. It's his second NBA championship, but back with the team that he started with, the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll let him ride out of here into the sunset with 2 rings. LeBron, he's seen enough. He's like, I got to get out of the league now. Clippers are winning championships. I just got to go. Al Horford said our time is done. And by our time, I mean the Boston Celtics. We got to get out of here. I'm retiring. There's no more point in me playing anymore. Looking at the draft lottery, obviously the Oklahoma City Thunder are still a force to be reckoned with in the coming years. They have the #1 pick in this draft, which means they are more than likely going to get Cooper Flagg. They also have the 11th pick and the 16th pick, so looking a bit dangerous there. Getting a little bit nervous, not going to lie. With the last pick in the first round, we got Noel from the University of Georgia. We'll go ahead and sign him. Probably going to be looking to trade him. But this offseason is going to be pretty boring for us anyways. I don't think we have too many players that we're looking to keep on this team, because at this point we have most everyone locked in. The only exception is Mitchell Robinson. He's on for 1 more year. He's refusing to re-sign. He wants a starting role. He's feeling frustrated. And it might be time to trade him. Obviously, you know, he's great for a backup center. He's probably one of the reasons why we won some games. But he wants to go. He wants to leave. I don't exactly blame him. Again, he wants that starting role. So let's just see if we can find any good options for backup center besides him. I'm sure there's some guys out there that would be great to pick up. However, we're going to wait until after free agency to figure this out. Just let players get signed and then see, you know, let the dust settle and see what kind of opportunities are out there on the trade finder. As far as player progression goes, no one progressed. And in fact, Malik Monk went down 1 overall. I'm pretty surprised by that, but it is what it is. You know, we don't really like to see players plateau, but at least we're still winning games, and that's what matters most. Again, Mitchell Robinson, we're probably going to look to trade him since he is refusing to stick around on this team after this season. However, if we don't find any good offers for him, I mean, that's it. We're just going to move on because, look, I'd rather get 2 back-to-back championships rather than just kind of walk out of here with nothing in hand at all. So we're getting some offers. None of them are centers, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping, I mean, Yusuf Nurkic is not ideal at all. Rudy Gobert, I don't really want to give up Kevin Huerter because he's been doing well for us off the bench. Now, of course, we don't know how Rudy Gobert would respond to potentially coming off the bench, although most likely it would force Zubac to come off the bench, and he might not take so kindly to that. So we have a little bit of a situation. I'm starting to think that we just kind of accept our fate and just keep Mitchell Robinson on this team. I'm not really, you know, I know Jaime Jaquez Jr. is there. We got Austin Reeves there. We got an old 35-year-old Drew Holiday there. But otherwise, and then we got Robert Williams, but it's just going to be the same situation. I mean, he's more than likely not going to be happy with coming off the bench. Although, is he coming off the bench right now? Is he sharing playing time with DeAndre Ayton? He has to be, right? Yeah, he only started 31 of the 82 games last season. The only huge downside, he's a little bit more undersized, and I believe he's a little bit more injury prone. I could be wrong on that, but he did play all 82 games last season, so who am I to say? Wow, really 2K? Just all greens and a little bit of increased risk of injury, but nothing that's high severity risk? I'm pretty surprised. Robert Williams is notorious for his injury history, so that kind of shocks me. The other difficulty here is we could easily make this trade, and then Robert Williams also refuses to re-sign. So yeah, it's look, okay, we're just gonna accept it. We're gonna try to win back-to-back championships. You know, for being the Los Angeles Clippers, that's a pretty rare situation to be in. So if one guy out of the core, what do we got here, like 8 guys, is refusing to stick around, I think we'll be okay. Okay, we're at the trade deadline, and so far so good. We're the 4th team in the West with a record of 34-17. Honestly, the West is just stacked. I mean, look at this. Look at all these teams. Just everyone's winning games. Meanwhile, in the East, it's not as impressive. I mean, they're still good teams, but yeah, just not at the same caliber as these teams in the West. Now, we have a little bit of a situation. I'm not really sure what Aaron Gordon's upset about. You know, he's getting paid. I believe he's getting playing time. Yeah, I mean, he's averaging 30 minutes per game. He may or may not be starting it. He's started every game. I don't really know what is upsetting the man. His scoring is pretty similar. So, yeah, I'm a little bit confused there. Could be a situation where Mitchell Robinson is making him upset. I have no idea. But that's just kind of the situation we're dealing with. Mitchell Robinson's scoring is going down for yet another season. His blocks per game is dropping. His steals per game is dropping. He's just not contributing as well as he was in the past. And now he's starting fights in the locker room with Aaron Gordon. So, yeah, maybe he's not even contributing as much as at this point, and the case to keep him is becoming less and less. So let's just see here what kind of offers we got going on. Ooh, Keegan Murray. He's not a backup center, but it's Keegan Murray. He can score. He can shoot. We could trade for the other former Knicks center who's now playing for the Pacers, Isaiah here, and he's been putting up some good stats still, coming off the bench, I assume. We got Herb Jones. We don't really need more of those forward types, but if they're there and they're good, we might as well go for them. Like, again, for example, Keegan Murray. He's 25 years old. We got to look at this contract situation, though. Did he get extended yet? He did not. Did not get extended. Makes me a little bit nervous to go through with this trade, especially because they want a draft pick attached to it. It's probably our draft pick, so I mean, I don't really care as much because I think our team's still going to be good. But I could try to remove the draft pick, see if we can get away with that. Doesn't seem like we can. Maybe I can just tag on like a second-round pick. Would that work? No. Now they're starting to throw in random players and picks. What if we tried one more second-round pick? Could we get it done? No. Okay, well, I'm not too excited about this. I mean, I'm a little bit excited, but let's just try to make this work. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got to go back to the trade finder. Here we go again. We'll make the trade. Done. And at this point, in order to get a backup center, I'm thinking we should just sign someone off of the free agent market. And I sure hope that the reason Aaron Gordon's upset is because of something to do with Mitchell Robinson. Because if he continues to be upset after we start simulating games, we're going to be past the trade deadline, which is unfortunate. And Mo Bamba, who hasn't played for an entire season, he's available off the free agent market. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot of other great options as it is, so I say why not go for him. We can sign him. I believe we can get down to a minimum deal. There you go, 1 year minimum. He's accepted. So we now have a backup center, and then this is what the rotation is going to look like. We got De'Aaron Fox at the 1, Malik Monk at the 2, Michael Porter Jr. at the 3, Gordon at the 4, Zubac at the 5, off the bench. It's a whole bunch of centers, or not centers, forwards. We got Keegan Murray, OG Anunoby, McDaniels, we got Kevin Huerter, and then we got Mo Bamba. And then again with that contract extension, he is not eligible because players on the rookie scale contracts can only sign extensions during the offseason prior. So I don't know what the Kings were thinking, but we'll have to look to sign him to a contract in the offseason. We're going to have to compete with some other teams. He's not going to be a restricted free agent, I do believe. I could be wrong. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And it turns out whatever the problem is with Aaron Gordon, I just simulated a couple days and he's still upset about something. I don't know what. He's getting playing time. He's on a winning team. He needs to calm down. Luka wins his first ever MVP award, Cooper Flag, with the Thunder, winning Rookie of the Year. To no one's surprise, he's also 6th Man of the Year. He's not even starting. My goodness. Wemby, Defensive Player of the Year. And then moving on a little bit forward, the Spurs still managed to get the 2 seed in the West, with Greg Popovich getting Coach of the Year. And then looking for any Clippers players in the All-NBA teams, we got De'Aaron Fox getting on the All-NBA second team. And for the defensive teams, also De'Aaron Fox getting all-defensive second team. We don't have any rookies, so that is of no matter to us. We're going up against the Dallas Mavericks in round 1. And it turns out that none other than Mitchell Robinson must have been the key to this being a championship team, because we really fell off in the second half of this season. We are on track to get 50 plus wins, and we fell down to 47 and 35. Good enough for the 5th seed in the West. And then looking at the season stats again, De'Aaron Fox still only the player averaging over 20 points per game, and he's doing it also getting 5 rebounds and 7.5 assists, almost 2 steals per game. Unbelievable player. And then we have a ton of other players there getting double-digit in scoring, you know, that being Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Zubac, and OG Anunoby, and Kevin Huerter. So this Mavs team, they added Hugo Gonzalez, the 20th pick of the 2025 NBA draft. They added Paul George to this team. Is Kyrie still here, or did Kyrie? No, yeah, Kyrie's still here. He's injured. So they got Luka, Kyrie, Paul George, Bobby Portis, still got Jaden Hardy, they got Jonathan Isaac, still got Gordon Hayward on this team. This is a completely revamped Mavericks team, and I am not too thrilled about us being the Clippers. We don't have home court advantage, and we're likely not going to have home court advantage in any of these series because of how we finished the regular season. So fingers crossed we can even get out of round 1 here, as we managed to steal one on the road. So far a good start, but man, okay, it's best of 3 now, up 3-2 in the series, and it's going to a game 7. Game 7 against the Mavs, getting off to an early double-digit lead in the second quarter, but the Mavs are coming right back. It's neck and neck going into the fourth quarter. The Mavs got a double-digit lead. Uh-oh, not good, and there you go. Clippers have been eliminated. It looks like trading Mitchell Robinson was the problem, apparently. And the Thunder, to no one's surprise, is going to end up winning the NBA Finals. Again, if we just look at their roster, I mean, it's absolutely atrocious. It's a crime against professional basketball that this is even allowed. Where is he? Where's Cooper Flagg? Was injured. It didn't even matter that he was injured. Their Rookie of the Year and 6th Man of the Year was injured. Did not matter at all. They got Cam Thomas added to the team, another scorer. They got Clint Capella added to this team. I mean, this team's unbelievable. Marvin Bagley wins an NBA championship. Are you serious? Some key player retirements. It looks like Blake Griffin was still somewhere on the free agent market, and I totally missed him, so I'm sorry I didn't get him an NBA championship on his way out the door. But guys like Drew Holiday are retiring, Gordon Hayward, Alec Burks, Klay Thompson, Tristan Thompson. So yeah, what we'll do now, we'll try one more time to win one more championship. My hopes are not very high. We're going to do what it takes. We're going to try to keep the players happy, because right now it doesn't seem like anyone's happy at all. And then as far as draft picks go, I don't think do we have ours? This might be the year where we have our pick. No, it is not. It is next season. So we still are not really involved in the draft. Yeah, that's right, because we got the last pick in the draft last year. So if we simulate to the rookie signing, we're not going to have anyone. And actually, I totally forgot to... Oh, goodness. Okay, we lost Tyronn Lue. Totally forgot to hire a coach. So the CPU hired Sheldon Flores, whoever that is. So a key free agent maneuver here. We're going to extend the qualifying offer to Keegan Murray and hope that no one gives him a counter offer. But we'll see. Fingers crossed on that. And then as far as other players and, you know, being eligible for contract extensions, this is it. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be looking to test free agency next year. At the moment, OG is willing to re-sign for a couple years. Malik Monk for a few years. Kevin Huerter for a couple more years. And outside of that, we're going to start losing some key guys here, it looks like, or at least Michael Porter Jr. And then Aaron Gordon, I don't know what he's upset about, but we might need to trade him just because of the chemistry issues. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Keegan Murray, he got a few other offers, but he still goes ahead and accepts the qualifying offer from us. He doesn't sign with any other team. And then I did not mention this, but we also signed a couple of guys to some minimum contracts. Josh Richardson, point guard off the bench, and Luke Cornett, so that we have another backup center. Now it says Zubac is also upset. I'm assuming what's going on here is because we have so many players of starter quality at the forward position. I think that's why players are getting upset. I'm not sure why Zubac is upset. It doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, but I'm just going to keep an eye on that. And then again, Michael Porter Jr., looking to test free agency. So if we pair Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon together in a trade package, just curious to see what kind of offers are out there. And honestly, I'm not seeing too many good trade offers, so I think we are just going to stick with what we got and hope that these teammate chemistry issues kind of resolve themselves. We just signed Josh Richardson. He took a year off basketball and he's upset now. I don't know what could possibly upset him. So we just need to figure things out. Okay, so we did some team bonding activities added to the training schedule, and it looks like things have sort of resolved themselves. Zubac is still upset about who knows what. Who is this? Someone, Diabate is salty about something. I don't know what he's salty about. He's 24 years old. He should be happy he's on a championship contending team at this point in his career. As far as contract extensions go, it looks like Michael Porter Jr. still wants to test free agency. We respect his decision on that. We can still re-sign him. But honestly, at this point, we're trying to win one more championship, and then we're probably going to let things go. Tyrese Halliburton is winning the MVP in this season. And for the rest of the players, Scotty Barnes is on the Orlando Magic now. He won 6th Man of the Year. The Thunder ended up getting the 2 seed in the West. Greg Popovich and the Spurs with the 1 seed with, oh my goodness, they each had 67 wins, 66 wins. That is unbelievable. De'Aaron Fox is on the All-NBA second team yet again. He did not make the All-Defensive second team this go around. And we ended up finishing 1 spot higher than last year. Got the 4th seed with 53 wins on the season. But man, the West is stacked. The Spurs, 67 wins. They added Cade Cunningham to this incredible roster, including Devin Vassell, Ace Bailey, Sohan. They got Victor Wembanyama still. They got Robert Dillingham, Donovan Clingan off the bench. I mean, this team is stacked. My goodness. And then the Thunder, of course, you know, they got their good players. They got Cooper Flagg, who's back from injury now. They didn't need him for the championship last year, but he's back, and they still have their young squad, if you will, looking pretty solid in the East. The Pacers getting the 1st seed with 54 wins, which would have put them in the 4th seed in the West, but that's kind of just how it goes. We got some players that are still upset. Keegan Murray is salty about who knows what. He's still getting good stats, good playing time, comparable to previous seasons, I believe. I guess his points per game has fallen off a little bit. He's got 3 minutes per game less than he did the last season, but I really don't know what you could be upset about otherwise. And then as far as Zubac, he's also heated. Not sure what he's heated about. Again, his minutes per game are pretty comparable to before. And as far as the number of shots he gets per game, where can we see that? There you go. I mean, he's got more shot attempts this year than he did last year, so I don't think it can be that. And then when you, this is me just not understanding like 2K's logic here at all as far as like why the player is heated. He just says, I'm feeling heated about everything that's happened. I don't know what. It doesn't tell you what he's upset about. He's getting the same playing time. He's got the same role. He's still starting for a team that is one of the top teams in the league. I don't understand, but that's just 2K's logic, I guess. I'm not sure what the narrative is. I'm not sure where we can read up on that narrative. But here we are in the first round of the playoffs against the Portland Trailblazers, who they still have Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, Jeremy Grant, and DeAndre Ayton, and Robert Williams off the bench. It looks like they added another center in Isaiah Jackson. They also have Reed Shepherd. They got James. Why do they have so many centers? They got James Wiseman. They got Tristan Da Silva. They got Jabari Walker. And yeah, I mean, they still got Anthony Simons too. It seems like he's injured at the moment, so we might get the edge there. Our starting lineup, by the way, we got De'Aaron Fox at the 1, Malik Monk at the 2, Michael Porter Jr. at the 3, Aaron Gordon at the 4, Zubac at the 5, OG Anunoby off the bench as the 6th man, Jaden McDaniels, Keegan. Maybe that's why Keegan Murray's upset. He's not starting. He's starter quality, not getting starting minutes. That just happens when you got too many cooks in the kitchen. You got Kevin Huerter, you got Luke Cornett on this roster, so pretty solid roster. I think we got a good shot at least getting past the first round. And so far, it's not great. Not great, but we did manage to win at least one of those games on the road. Please don't put us in a Game 7 again. There we go. We made it to the second round to face none other than the San Antonio Spurs. Oh, this is not going to be good. Do we have any injuries? Michael Porter Jr. has a little bit of an injury there, which means Keegan Murray... No, Keegan Murray's not going to play. I guess I guess Michael Porter Jr. still gets the starting spot. Oh, Keegan Murray is getting a start over Aaron Gordon. The coach is making a lot of random change-ups. Maybe that's why players are getting upset. You got guys jumping from the starting lineup to the bench over and over and over. I don't know who this coach is. Sheldon Flores. I gotta be honest, the generated player model here, this guy looks like he's a teenager. But hey, I mean, when your team's this good, why do you need the best coach or one of the better coaches in the league? As we go down 0-3 and we won one. Okay, so far so good, and then we get swept. And to no one's surprise, it's going to be the Thunder and the Spurs in the conference finals. The Thunder win, the Thunder sweep, the end. We're done with this. We're done with this rebuild. We did what we set out to do, which was trade Kawhi, Paul George, and Harden. Get rid of all three of them. Clean slate. We didn't sign Russell Westbrook back. We let Mason Plumlee go even. We traded some other guys on this roster. We put together a championship caliber roster, won 60 games in the season, won the 2025 NBA Finals, and in the next 2 seasons, you know, or at least in playoff picture, and we got out of the first round again. I don't know what happened to the teammate chemistry. If someone knows, you know, in the comments below, let me know if there's somewhere you can read about, like, why is this player salty. All it says, I am salty with how things are going, but you're not explaining to me what are the things that are going that are making you salty. If you want to see another rebuild video, click the one on your screen, and of course, if you have any types of rebuilds that you want to see, let me know in the comments down below.